Hi Gemini, welcome to Yellow Card No Tarot with me. My name is Carol. This is going to be a general reading for you. There's no date on the reading, so I trust that when it comes into your feed, it's meant for you. We're going to be doing a reading called It's Time to Be Seen. And this was inspired by a shamanic course that I was just taking, and it's called Personal Transformation. I am now a shamanic healer, actually, and it's part of my own healing journey, my personal healing journey that I've been talking about on this channel. It's a gift, something I didn't know was in my shadow, but after, a hell of a lot of healing, I eventually got there, and it was like little steps and steps and steps along the way. And so what this reading is, it's kind of like going to crack open your own soul, and we're going to look at your own journey, and we're going to figure out, okay, because this journey, this healing journey is a process. It's all about taking little steps. And I always say that there's gifts that are sitting in our shadow, but there's also some healing that we have to do around these. Every little step that we take seems to have healing around it, right? We got to work through these blocks. And so in this reading, we're going to look at what part of you is still hiding. And oftentimes there's like an issue that we've been dealing with all our life that we just can't seem to get over it. It keeps showing up and it prevents us from doing certain things. So we're going to identify that part. We're going to look at what challenges are testing your growth. And that's what we're going to dig into your shadow a bit. We're going to look at, what's blocking you right now, what's preventing this next step you want to take. And then what soul gifts did you come here to share? And we're going to look at that a bit and see if we can get some clues, something that you came here. And then for some people, it's like it's sitting right there for you, and here it is for you, but you got to do this first. And so a lot of times this will be what's going on, but we'll see what this is going to bring you. I will be using for this reading Curious Travels deck for you. I'll be clarifying with the Tarot of A.E. Waite. And then I'm going to pick the Shaman's Dream Oracle. I've been getting some really good messages from that, and so I'm trusting that Spirit is coming through for me. And giving you that final little message that you need, and it's been really working out well, this deck for me, this oracle deck, and it's kind of solidifying what I'm saying in my readings. So let's begin. What part of Gemini is hiding right now? Right? What is Gemini? Here we go. We have a tower moment coming in for you. And I'm like, okay, that's very interesting that the reading starts off with a tower moment. Does not happen often, believe me, but we'll see. And we'll get some information about it. What challenges are testing your growth right now? Well, it might be that tower moment, actually, but the challenges are actually going to come from your shadow. When you were a child, as an adolescent maybe, and you have the Pentacle, the Ace of Pentacles, the Pentacle. It is the Pentacle by itself, the Ace of Pentacles. And then you have, what soul gifts did you come here to share? And Gemini gets the Five of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so I need some information on, I'll use this deck, the Tower. A couple cards for the Tower. Death card. So you have the Six of Cups in reverse and the Death card. So in the top row, you have two major arcana cards, two very powerful, I mean, they're all powerful energies, the major arcana, but the Tower and the Death card. So I'm going to say right now, Gemini, that this is huge for you, this reading, because to have the Tower and the Death on the top row is big. So we'll get into that energy in a minute. The Ace of Pentacles, couple cards for you to clarify. Can you clarify that one here? And one more. One that flipped. A couple that flipped, actually. So you have the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. That's sitting behind your Ace of Pentacles. And that's your challenge right now. The Five of Pentacles in reverse. Couple cards for that. And one, two. You have the Seven of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So two sword energies here. Clarify your Five of Pentacles. And I'm going to pull this Oracle card and we'll read at the end. One final message here. This one came out first. And I'm going to turn that upside down. All right. So we start off with what part are you still hiding? Now, I'm going to say this part of you that's still hiding. Oftentimes when we're trying to figure out, okay, what's the issue here? What is it that I'm still hiding? What is it that I need to work on? And I'm pushing it down and I don't want it to be seen. I'm hiding it. And that's what's usually the big block for us. And I think it's come right now as a Tower moment for you. When we experience something in our life, when the universe sends us red flags over and over and over again, and it will. If we don't get the message, if we don't learn the lesson, if we're not paying attention, if we ignore it, the universe says, okay, I have tried to warn you several times. I've tried to make you look at this situation and you're not listening. And so have I been given Tower moments in my life? Absolutely. Especially in the last 8.5 years where I've been healing my shadow intensively. And I've got big bats over the head. Big, huge bats from the universe saying, listen, Carol, you've been dealing with this situation all your life. And it keeps coming up for you. And it keeps causing you all this grief. But you're not healing it. There's something in your shadow that you need to heal that keeps coming up for you. It's like a pattern maybe. And you might know what it is. But you're sitting in it right now because the universe has just said, well, here's a Tower moment for you. Things have to change. And you know that. It could simply be that you're sitting here and you're like, I got it. Something's got to change here. Because it's a Tower moment. It's huge. And there's no other way that you can go but to change now. And so next card that comes out is the Six of Cups in reverse. This card is a giving and a receiving card, right? It's about knowing the balance between giving and receiving, right? If we're always giving, we can't receive. We don't know what it means to receive. Like if you're always giving of yourself. And if you're always taking, sometimes we can get into that victim mode. Sometimes we can, poor me, and you're wanting people to, have pity on you, or you're sitting in that place where you just can't seem to get out of, and that's kind of like a taking kind of mode. Well, then you don't know how to receive. And so this card's coming out in reverse here because I think there's an imbalance here. Maybe you're somebody that gives too much. Think of, maybe this has to do with the relationship you're in. It doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. Because if we're that type of a person, we're always giving and giving and giving. We're going to be doing that in all our relationships, right? Maybe you're a people pleaser And the Tower card has come in and says, you know what? It's time now that you deal with this, because the people-pleasing thing has maybe been something that's really big for you all your life. And it's time now that you deal with this. And so, because I'm seeing here this last card, and the reason why I'm saying that, it's got to do with a relationship, is because the Death card's coming in here. And the Death card comes in. It's a strong message when the Death card comes in. And I'm going to say this message and you're going to know what it is. It's like this Death card comes in and says, Gemini, it's time now that there are certain things in your life or people in your life that you're connected with that are just not serving you anymore, right? Their vibration is not matching you anymore. And I think you know that. And this is why this Tower moment is coming in again for you. And it's like, this is it. This is done. Like there's something that has to go here. Or there's someone that has to go. And it's like you don't have an option because of the Tower moment. Like things are here. It's like this is a bat from the universe saying it's got to change. This has to change now. And that's where you're at right now, you know, and so start to think about, okay, I'm sure when I'm saying this, you know exactly what I'm talking about for it to be a Tower moment. And there may be a huge part of you that's going, I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, I can't let this go, or I can't let this person go. I just can't. I can't do it. And that's where you're sitting. And so let's look at, you know, what are the challenges? What are the challenges that are testing you right now? Why can't you let this person go? Where is this coming from? Why can't you let this, whatever it is, go? A habit, a pattern. What is it? Why can't you let it go? So in order to figure that out, you have to go to your shadow. You have to look at your childhood and your adolescence and saying, okay, where did this come from? This had to start from somewhere, right? There's got to be an original place where it started. And that's the wound that you have to go to. It's very interesting because before I even begin, I see right here is your giving and receiving, and maybe that's sort of like a people-pleasing kind of card, or, you know, your imbalance there with your relationships or relationship that you're in. And right underneath it in your shadow is this Ten of Pentacles, and we didn't get to the card yet. But the Ten of Pentacles speaks about, to me, it's a healing channel. It has everything to do with your lineage. It has everything to do with the trauma that's been handed down to you. And so it's something that you learned from your childhood that your parents, your caretakers would have handed down to you. The first card that comes out in your shadow is the Pentacle. The Ace of Pentacles. Pentacle again, I say. Well, the Pentacle is your body. It's the earth element. It's your ability to be in your body. It's the element of being grounded. Well, what do you mean? What does that have to do with your being a child? Well, when we were 4, 5, 6 years old, we were very grounded. You know, we were running around, using all our emotions, being our authentic us. And then it comes a time when we're told, no, we'll put that person away. We'll put whoever you are away. And so when we're told, you know, to put our emotions away, or when we're not allowed to be who we want to be, we really lose sense of who we are, because that's not accepted by people. And so what happens is, because there's a lot of pain behind that, when we start to feel when we were younger that we don't matter, and we're not worthy, you know, if we're not accepted, you know, this is who I am, and I was told this is not acceptable. Well, we go up in our head. Our ego puts us up in our head because it can't keep us in our body. We can't stay in our body when we're younger, because that's where our big emotions are. And so there's something very painful here when you were younger that really taught you that, you know, maybe you didn't matter. Your authentic self that wanted to come out, no, not allowed to be that person. And so your ability to remain in your body and feel all your emotions was taken away from you. You learned at a very young age that your body wasn't a safe place to be. And so you went up in your head. And so I hear you, I see you now, like very much as somebody that doesn't live from their body because you were told that wasn't a safe place to be, right? You learn that. And so I think for you to release this thing that you're being asked to release, or this person, it's going to bring up a lot of pain. And you're not willing to go there. You're not used to being in your body. You're not used to feeling this pain. And here's the Ten of Pentacles that's sitting behind this Ace of Pentacles here, where you know, that whole thing about being in your body and feeling all your emotions and being you was taken away from you. Well, this tells me that this was something that was handed down. This is something that, you know, you got to look at your trauma. This talks about trauma. This talks about trauma that was handed down from you from generation to generation. So it's really important for you now to look at, okay, what was the trauma here that took place when I was younger? There's some trauma here. And it was the trauma that took me out of my body. Because when shitty things happen to us when we're younger, we learn at a very young age that this is not safe to be in your body. Get out of your body, because that's where your emotions are. Don't feel all these, here's all these emotions that you're told not to feel. There's 10 of them, 10 cups, 10 of them. We're meant to have this rainbow of beautiful emotions. You know, fear, love, joy, all those emotions, sadness. We're allowed to cry, anger. We're allowed to get angry. But no, here they are in your shadow, they're hidden. You were told, put those emotions away. You're not allowed to have those emotions. You know, you're not allowed to be a crybaby. You're not allowed to get angry. You're just not allowed. Like, it's put away here. And there's a solid message here that came and said, you better get out of your body and not live in your body, because there's a hell of a lot of pain here that you were told, you know, put all those emotions away. Well, they're in your body. Your emotions are stored in your body, right? And then you have the Knight of Pentacles as the last card in your shadow. Well, this is like an adolescent part of you, and no surprise, it's a pentacle, right? And so even as a young, and I call this one of like a freedom fighter, that part of you when you were younger as an adolescent that wanted to be free, that wanted to be in their body, that wanted to feel all their emotions, that wanted to do what they wanted to do, that didn't want to be controlled by other people. It's sitting here in your shadow. It's like that part of you that wanted to fight against maybe controlling environment or whatever was going on with you when you were younger. It's, wanting to just burst. It's sitting here inside your shadow. So I can feel this energy of yours that's just something's wanting to come out of you. Something, and I know it because there's some change that definitely needs to take place. There's so much emotion that is in your body that's wanting to come out of you. You couldn't be grounded even when you were an adolescent. You learned at a very young age that it was not a safe place to be. So many of us learned when we were younger that our bodies were not a safe place for us, including myself. And I had to learn how to stay in my body, how not to dissociate, and to get out of my head. And so, what gifts did you come here to share? Well, here's the Five of Pentacles. And oftentimes, when I say what gifts you came here to share, it's also like, well, there's some lessons here that we have to learn too, right? Because our healing is part of our soul growth. And so you have the Five of Pentacles. Here's this individual in an upright position. Look at this little boy. He's broken a pentacle, right? And it's like, it reminds me of those, imagine when a kid breaks a toy and how they cry over how much they've broken their toy, right? And I don't think that, and it's interesting that it comes right underneath the Ace of Pentacles, where you've learned that staying in your body wasn't a safe thing. This card speaks volumes of this little person who was shamed for maybe crying when they were younger, shamed for having emotions because they broke their pentacle, right? And the Five of Pentacles speaks about a card of feeling unworthy. So much shame there behind feeling unworthy. When you're not allowed to be you, when you're not allowed to feel your own emotions, there's a lot of pain there. And I think that part of you that you've come here to feel, maybe, heal some of the shame that's been handed down from your lineage. And there's so much. And I think you came here to share you and to break through a lot of this trauma that was handed down, this shame, these belief systems. See, this is called the Thief card. He's running away, running from, you can say also, his truth. His truth are those two solid swords, right? Swords are all about your belief systems and what you believe, your authentic self. Well, this person has stolen all these mental thoughts and he's running away with them. And it's like, okay, what have you believed? What have you continued to believe about yourself? That's just not true. And you've come here to share something with people. You have gifts to share. But you've come here to really shake this up. There's something here you came here to do. But I think that once you start to peel away at and feel some of this shame that was handed down to you, and really heal a lot of this trauma that's sitting behind why as a child you couldn't remain in your body. What was it, right? And so I think that's why you're being called to let someone go or let something go. Because when that happens, it's going to bring about all these emotions that have just been that have been stored in your body for so long that want to come out. And with all that grief that needs to come out, a lot of times it'll uncover some beautiful things that are sitting right behind it. And then you have the Queen of Swords. And this is the other beautiful thing that's going to come out. Is the Queen is our feminine side. Your feminine side wants to come out. The feminine side is the one that is very emotional. And your feminine side is also the side of authenticity. That one sword speaks about authenticity. Your authentic self is the beautiful gift that's wanting to come out here. Behind all of these belief systems that you have continued to believe about yourself. And oftentimes when we have this unworthiness and these things that we believe about ourselves, and we end up attracting the wrong types of people. We end up being that people pleaser where we'll put on all these masks and pretend to be someone else. And we get stuck in these relationships over and over and can't understand why. But I think it's come to a head here where it's like, okay, here's the tower moment for you. You know, who are you under all this? What are you believing? What are you still believing about yourself? Because it's time now to let something or someone go. And so I'm going to look at the card here that I picked for you. Wow. This seems to... It's called Root Girl. The disowned self. You know, I think of that Ace of Pentacles and how you really do disown yourself when you aren't allowed to be in your body anymore. You were taught, right? And so Root Girl sits shivering, unclean and naked at the base of the tree of the self. She's unloved, unwanted, and shunned for her deformities. She has no home, but is safe burrowing underground to dwell near the deepest roots of the sacred tree. Who is she to you? Could this urchin be the part of you that reintegrated can lead you to wholeness and true purpose? Right? Is this what this whole Tower moment is about for you? This is a part of you, the embodiment of a deeply flawed perception of your failures, manifesting as guilt and shame. This is reading exactly what I was just talking about for you. When you project envy onto others or any emotion or an instinct that you've learned to repress or deem unnatural, it's this homeless child self crying for attention, acceptance, and love. You want to lash out, ignore it, push it aside, all the while refusing to acknowledge this ugly quality as belonging to you. But if you would only look into the root girl's eyes and see the beauty and the unmet need, your unmet need, you would realize that this part of you asks for compassion and understanding. If this child self came to be curled up at the roots of your sacred tree self, it's time to welcome her into your heart. When you do, everything you've been searching for becomes illuminated and your path lights up with renewed purpose. When you come to love Root Girl and claim her as your own, accepting her and your humanity, she is transformed just how you are. Then all manner of magic begins to arrive in abundant form. Look for the beauty. I missed a part here and it said this part of you was born when you were wounded and were conditioned to believe you're not whole, that your expression of self is somehow too much or too little. You may have even inherited this creature from your ancestors. And that's that lineage card right here. Wow. I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through, Gemini. This journey is a very difficult journey, your healing journey, but it's the most important one. So I want you to take care and stay safe. Bye for now.